Hi everyone, I hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your favorite YouTuber, coach, and course creator, and today we are reading some of your success stories. I am taking most of these success stories from our Facebook, Rita Kaminski's LOA baddie group, so if you would like to join, the link is in the description. If you would like to book one-on-one coaching with me, click the very first link in the description box down below. Let's get into it. Chelsea says today he confided in me about his emotional state, even though I didn't ask. He didn't reply to my okay great text because that was the convo ender from 2 days ago, but he came back and look. Affirmations do work. I wasn't even sweating it. I affirmed that we were married and he's consistent with me, and look how he apologized for the silence. My bad, I've been all over the place this week emotionally. How can I best support you as you navigate your feelings? I don't know, I'm okay. I just haven't had much of a social battery. That, and I don't have much motivation at the moment. Affirmations work, getting into the States work. It all works. Oh, by the way, if you want to get this hoodie, it is my merch, Rita Kaminski. It is already done. Go to ritakaminski.com. Anonymous member from our group says, this is an SP success story, no contact for 9 months. I swear I believed that I couldn't manifest to SP. Everything but not SP. Everything I tried, it just wouldn't reflect in my 3D until I decided that enough is enough and I can do it. This is what happens. You just decide that you're done and you can do it, and you will do it. My SP is a guy I never dated but madly in love with. I tried manifesting him for so long, 2 years to be exact. He was always cold. Never reached out first, always blocked me. I always ran back to him, always trying to get him to speak to me in the 3D. Back and forth, back and forth. Last year, July, we spoke and he apologized to me for everything, but I no longer cared. I had someone new. So I blocked him and carried on with my life. Fast forward February 2026, I started missing him. I decided to talk to him, and at first I thought I'd reach out in the 3D to see if he'd speak to me. So I reached out on TikTok. Since he had me blocked on everything else, when I reached out, he blocked me without response to my message. Of course, I wasn't surprised, but slightly devastated. I then decided I'd manifest him to come back to me. February wasn't it. I just kept on wavering and checking the 3D like a lunatic, scripting and visualizing a lot, but I couldn't stay in the state. After all of that, I came across a post about 50k robotic affirmations challenge for money, and tons of people got results. I decided to do it for my SP. But my goal was 15k for SP and the rest self-concept. I started robotic affirming every day, without questioning myself, without checking the 3D, without forcing the feeling. I just affirmed on a counter app for 7 days that he'd reach out. After I reached 15k affirmations, I stopped and decided to tell myself that it's clearly done and everything aligned. 4 days ago, I was convinced that he wasn't going to reach out. I just started trying to convince myself to move on. And literally 48 hours later, my SP called. I was shocked. Circumstances don't matter. He can block you on everything, and you can do the 15k robotic affirmation challenge or the 40k, whatever feels right for you. And it's not necessarily that the magic thing to do is the 50k challenge or the 15k challenge. For example, I robotically affirmed I make $30,000 a month, and I did after 2 weeks. However, when I was robotically affirming I make $40,000 a month, I affirmed 40,000 times. If I find the screenshot, I'll send it to you. And I didn't manifest making $40,000 a month. However, when I put myself into the state of someone who makes $100,000 a month, I started seeing movement quickly, where I started making $4,000 days on fucking God. Feels so good. Not every single day, but I started seeing massive movement within days. So it's not about the technique. There's a variety of reasons why some techniques work at some times and some don't. If you're interested in learning more, I highly recommend coaching with me. The link is in the description box down below. Another anonymous member sends an SP success story. I have a success story. I don't really want to go too deep into the old story, but basically my SP had blocked me, then he unblocked me because we were both in Turkey. From that point on, we started texting a bit, but That was it at first. We were just chatting on WhatsApp. Then eventually we met up. We did end up becoming intimate, which wasn't really my plan, but I've been trying to manifest him using robotic affirmations. For me, that was already a small success, going from being blocked to texting to finally actually meeting up. Even though it wasn't consistent, it only happened a few times per month. During that phase, when we only saw each other occasionally, it was mostly about intimacy rather than something deeper or consistent. After that, we started seeing each other more and more often because he was stationed near where I live, so the distance wasn't really an issue anymore, and we could meet more frequently. But technically, we're in a long distance situation of about 3.5 hours. At some point, he said he would no longer be a soldier and instead get a job back in his hometown. That meant we would be 3.5 hours apart again and wouldn't be able to see each other as often. I don't live alone, so I couldn't invite him over, even though he would have driven to see me. That meant I always had to go to him, and so far I've only done that once. We spent a weekend together at his place. It felt like we were a couple again. We met his friends while shopping, and they told me he had been speaking very highly of me, always talking about me. He even said that he was talking about me like even when we were broken up. He also took me to his soccer game. The coach thought I was his girlfriend, and his friends were surprised to see me again, wondering why I was back. At some point, we had a conversation because I wanted to communicate openly. He had asked before whether we should just get back into a relationship. I knew he was kind of testing whether I still loved him, so I didn't answer directly. We joked about it instead. But when I stayed with him that weekend, we had a serious conversation. He said that in general, it would be possible to get back together, but it would be difficult because his feelings aren't the same as they were in the beginning, and that it will never be like that before. He also said that the love is kind of missing. This is where you get the hot and cold, not even behavior, but the hot and cold things that he's saying. Like, the things that he's saying doesn't even make sense. It's just a reflection of what you're thinking. However, he said that love could be built again. I told him, no, either you love someone or you don't. Building love sounds strange. That confused me a bit at first, but honestly, he has no choice but to love me, so I'm not worried. I'll keep affirming. I will keep using the 3 robotic affirmations whenever I think of him and before I go to sleep. SP loves me, we're in a happy relationship, SP is obsessed with me. Those are solid affirmations. Keep on going. Circumstances don't matter, and you will see very quickly that things will turn around. You've already got massive movement. Anonymous member says, keep affirming, y'all. Success story. He reached out to me after blocking me from every socials and was checking up on me tonight out of the blue. My affirmation was SP and I got back together. It's a huge thing for me because the reason behind our breakup is very crucial. I was in doubt, in severe anxiety, and in desperation, but it still manifested. I just kept repeating my affirmations robotically and kept a check on my mental diet and thought patterns. I will be persisting even more from now on till I get my desires fully. That is so freaking good, so amazing. There you go, affirming works. Monette says, moving success story. I'm so excited. I have a big success story to share. I moved from RVA to Phoenix, Arizona in 2021. I thought I needed to change, but Arizona was too much change from seasons and being in a walkable city to beige everything, large roads, and it was just being hot as hell. In fall of 2023, I took a trip back to VA and traveled to DC. Then I decided I wanted to move back to DC or Northern VA area. I seen people say you have to act like it's happening and look for places movers pack, etc., and the rest will follow. So I went back spring of 2024 around April to look at areas to consider moving around, but that trip wasn't good like the fall trip. Weather was bad, missed both my trains, and had to buy tickets all over again, and flight got switched up coming back to Arizona. Looked for jobs, but nothing moved, so I gave up. I was also trying to leave my leasing job I hated, but I didn't see how or movement, so I figured I was stuck forever. In July, the job randomly was going super well. I made a lot of sales on apartments without even trying, so I had an ego boost. I was feeling good, and I figured I'd finally find a boyfriend. I did a love spell candle and bath, and the next day I felt a tug to go on Facebook dating. Wait, that's a thing? Usually Facebook dating is horrible and I would get like 2 to 3 matches and they'd be trash. But this time I got like 20 matches in 2 days. I met my now ex-boyfriend there, lol. The job by August and September went back to being bad. My sales went down for no reason and management was worse than before. My boyfriend kept saying I should move in with him, so I said fuck it. October, I finally quit my job, but I was still in Arizona just across town. 2025 was trash and the relationship deteriorated and ended in December. I think the relationship knocked off the last pick-me energy I had, and I was like, fuck that dude. I'm never shrinking or trying to change or prove myself to someone again. I'm going to be my best self and confident and not settle anymore, so the next man can come correct and adore everything about me instead of criticizing. I think my ex was a 3D delay reflection of all the self-criticizing I used to do that I was trying to change. After the breakup, I started listening to Master Manifest affirmations every night. I also liked to watch success stories a lot when I was feeling down so I could feel hope. I felt so much anxiety because I was trying to get out of being stuck at another 9-to-5 job I hated, but at the same time I needed money, but couldn't even get 9-to-5 jobs, and I needed to move out in 2 months. I watched one of Rita's success story videos and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice if my ex offered to get my boxes for my move, and instead he randomly asked me 4 hours later to take pics for him of paperwork and he'd send me enough money for boxes, so I got boxes for my move. Then February came in and I was spiraling. I stopped affirming and was giving up again. I was borderline homeless and I have 2 cats I didn't want to give up. I got pissed off a few days ago and punched my dresser and screamed. Then a few hours after, I decided to post it on Marketplace. A few months ago, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if someone bought all my furniture so I wouldn't have to haggle by multiple people, but then I was like, I doubt that'll happen, and forgot all about it. The man that bought the dresser 5 minutes after I posted kept asking if I had more furniture to be sold and bought all of it and took it within 2 hours. I was telling my friend about I don't know what to do, and every time he kept offering to pay for stuff. First time it was me saying I don't know what I'm gonna do with my stuff, and he paid for movers and storage. Then I said I don't know where I'm gonna go, and he said he'll pay rent for a few months until I got a job if I find a room. I looked in Arizona, but I wanted to go to VA. He was like, I saw rooms in VA that allows cats, and I said, I don't know how I'll get there. The vet airplane tickets are $2,000. He paid for both. I just got the ticket confirmation today. I cried. Finally, I was leaving hell, aka Arizona. I'm not going to lie, I don't know what I did exactly that worked. I will say I stayed consistent with the affirmations at night. I might have only missed 3 to 4 days out of the 2 months this year listening to it. I worked on self-concept. I cut off friends that I poured into more than they did me. And when I'd look in the mirror and was about to pick at myself for having fat, I'd immediately override it and say, I'm the shit, my face card never fucking declines, bitch, period. I was consistent up until the time crunch. I briefly dipped and was like, maybe I'm not worth it, maybe I can't manifest, but the shit still came. So I'm like, well, myself, I don't know what the fuck you did, but good job, you're such an awesome God. I did affirmations during the day for a while, but when time got closer, I stopped. I was spiraling bad. I visualized the moving truck closing and the movers saying, we'll see you in Virginia, and visualizing me moving into a luxury apartment. But it looks like I'll come back for my things later and I'll probably have a roommate again, but we'll see how the rest plays out. That is incredible. You are such an awesome God, and we can manifest anything that we desire. Things will just move no matter what the circumstances are. They will just move. The right people will come to want to buy your stuff. The men will pay for your tickets. It doesn't matter how it happens. That's not your job to figure out. It will just come about perfectly. Your only job is to stay in the state. Rochelle says, pet death revision success story. Whoa. I recently revised the death of my favorite actor's beloved dachshund. This has no relation to my previous death revision story in this group. The actor's name isn't really relevant here, so let's just call him John Doe. So John Doe adopted a dachshund puppy back in 2011 who he named Lewis. He was constantly sharing photos of his dog on social media and clearly loved Lewis a lot. But many years later in 2024, he shared that the dachshund passed away from old age. A few weeks ago, I wanted to revise that death so John Doe could have his beloved Louis back. I've revised the death before, so I knew I could do it again. I didn't do much in terms of techniques, no visualizations, no sats, no scripting. It was truly just a combination of mental diet by affirming and persisting in my assumption that Lewis is alive and healthy, and brazen impudence, one of Neville Goddard's techniques I have always had a liking to. I can only really thank Neville's teachings and his books for my success. It took a little under 2 months before my favorite actor very recently went live on his Instagram, as he does often, and sure enough, Lewis was on the camera looking healthy and happy. I was very surprised to see Lewis. Instagram had an option where you can comment on IG Live, so I took that opportunity to inquire about Lewis and how old he was. I found out through John Doe replying that he actually adopted Lewis later in the 2010s. So I really shifted to a version of reality where Lewis was born a few years later, but it's still the same dog. He's younger now than he was in 2024 when he passed in my old reality. It's truly incredible knowing we are capable of these things. I think part of the reason it was so quick to see this shift is because I was not attached to any outcome. I was okay with or without it. I don't have any personal connection to Lewis, so there wasn't really any resistance. It felt easy. I hope this story resonates with someone out there. I know death revision can be a sticky topic, but I believe it's all just limiting beliefs that make it so controversial in the LOA community. You can manifest it. You can manifest anything, even if they don't seem possible. I can relate because I've also struggled with thinking some things were not possible. I thought it wasn't possible to manifest a part-time work from home job that pays over $200,000 a year until I did manifest it. Last year, for a relative I am very close to who wanted a fun, high-paying job without a college degree needed, so I decided to help them out with that. My family member is super happy with their job and they only work 2 to 3 days a week, making over $200,000. That's a success story for another post though. This post was specifically for Lewis the dog. But remember, if I am out here revising deaths and manifesting good jobs for my loved ones, then yes, you can manifest that text/commitment from your SP. Yes, you can manifest having good grades in school and clear skin. You are capable of it. This post went a bit longer than intended, so thank you for the time for reading this. Wow. Everyone has to embody that energy, because really and truly, each and every single person is in control of their own reality. This person shifted into a reality where that dog was younger. That gives me motherfucking chills. And if you don't believe in any of these success stories, try it for yourself. Simply remind yourself that it's already done. Keep reminding yourself, even if you wobble sometimes. And I promise you, you will see movement and you will understand that this person is telling you the truth. Anonymous member says, not sure this account is a success story, but this is a mini success. I said on my notes and I affirmed up to $350 on the counter. I wrote down on my notes that I got my reimbursement in 3 days or less. I wrote that down today at 10:20 a.m. and I was gonna email, but I changed my mind. I just kept affirming and persisting. That's it. Guess what? I got my fucking reimbursement, not even after 3 days. I started affirming Saturday. My lesson that I learned is don't give up and persist in your affirmations. I have so many on my list. Literally, you can use the law of assumption for anything, big or small. There is no small success story because it's all proving to you that you are the operant power, able to manifest anything that you want. Tiffy says, success story. I graduated in August 2025 and I either wasn't ready, life happened, or some excuse that made me put off my certification exam, but still manifested that I was going to pass it. When I was getting ready to take it, I went on TikTok and saw a lot of people saying it was hard, that the passing rate was low, etc. And not going to lie, I did get discouraged, but still wanted to get this over with. As of today, and despite the circumstances in my movement, I'm officially done with school and I passed my certification. The 3D and circumstances really don't matter, and if you're still struggling, just know if I can do it, you can do it too. I love that there are different people manifesting different things, but the outcome is still the same. Motherfucking success. If you are reading this hopeless right now, thinking, yeah, but my situation is different, or I can't manifest, I'm telling you, none of these people are special. They're no more special than you or me. Don't take these success stories as discouragement. Take these success stories as inspiration, because again, if they can do it, so can you. Nusrat says, there are a lot of things I manifested using robotic affirming while I didn't believe they'd work. I lost weight just by affirming, needed money for a lost A-level certificate. I manifested the money in just 1 month, manifested text from lots of people, broke no contact, etc. Says, it's been a long time coming, but I finally have a success story to share on here. Like many people, I started the manifestation journey for an SP. I've been struggling in that department, but along the way I've decided to manifest more things. Among some affirmations I've used, my favorite is everything is unfolding in my favor faster than I can imagine. I believe that was a Rita affirmation challenge. Well, since I started using that around January, let me tell you, things have been moving so fast. I'm currently a public school teacher in New York and have been absolutely miserable, so I'm manifesting my dream life, living somewhere warm with financial freedom, etc. So I decided I would own a place in SC to use as a vacation spot for now and potentially earn extra money renting it out until I moved there last time. I had a trip already booked this week for spring break, which didn't work out, so I last minute decided to come to SC to look at places. I saw one place and fell in love with it, made an offer, which has been accepted, and I'm closing on May 5th. The best part is the realtor told me that there are already bookings on the place through summer and I would be getting that income. I barely had to lift a finger through the whole process. Up until today, I was seriously doubting my manifestation skills because I was getting zero movement with SP. Now I know I can manifest anything and anyone I want. Not only that, but FSP, I don't need him, he needs me. Exactly, you get to that mentality once your self-concept raises. Circumstances do not matter. You can be a miserable teacher in New York City one day and the next you are a freaking landlord in a sunny state. Gori says she manifested $20,000 a month. I guess many of you have already read one of my earlier posts where I talk about manifesting a desired amount of money per month. At first I decided 10K per month, but deep inside I kept questioning myself, do I really want to earn just this much or is my goal bigger? And I realized no, I desire more than that. Setting 10K felt like I was putting in a limit, thinking maybe I should start small and then grow. But today I've successfully manifested 20K a month and it's only 9th of April. How did I do it? For the last 3 months, I consistently lived in the assumption that I earned 20K a month. My external sales didn't reflect it immediately, but I knew my imagination is the only reality. Whatever I was seeing outside was just a reflection of my old state. I continued to see myself, my identity, and my work from that new version of me. Of course, doubts came up many times, but I kept reminding myself, imagination is the only real world. There was one very specific desire. I wanted a single sale of 15K euro. I didn't want multiple small clients. I wanted one specific sale. And my loyalty to my imagination paid off. Within the second week of this month, it happened, even in my physical world. From earning $500 per month to now 20K per month in just 1 year, I made it possible, and all thanks to my imagination, only to myself. I know I'm the only one who either limits myself or gives myself permission to live freely. Whether I earn $20 or 20K, it's the same thing. Even $200,000 is the same. True. It all depends on your natural desire. When my awareness itself is the root of everything, then why struggle? Go within, see yourself already enjoying that money, see yourself already wealthy, and then watch the magic of your beautiful imagination. The 3D world is nothing but a delayed version of your imagination. The 3D world is nothing but a delayed version of your imagination, so stop stressing about it. Go within and live the life you truly want. Now I feel free from this matrix. No restrictions, no struggle, no pain. And even if they existed, they only are created by me. Only I am real, my awareness is real, everything else is my own projection. If I had earned this 20K a year ago, I probably would have gone crazy with happiness. But honestly, today I'm happy, yet it feels normal now. I know this will help many of you manifest your specific desires. Love you. That is the funny thing, like, do this exact thing that Gori said, and I'm telling you, it comes so quick. And because you were in that reality in your mind so much, it actually doesn't feel exciting when it happens. It just feels like, well, of course. Like, I was happy that I made the 4K yesterday, which would have amounted to over making $100,000 a month if I made that every day. But it was like, yeah, like, of course, it's just natural. And that's when you know you're in the Sabbath state. Positive Dragon says, success story. I robotically affirmed for 10 that my driver instructor texted me. I did this on March 13 or 14. Then I got lazy and just decided I'm gonna affirm once or day or however long as I feel like, because I felt 10 minutes is too long for me to focus on it. He texted me back today, which is March 15th. Period. Shysta says, got a bit of a funny success story. I was at the mall a few months ago and I bought sunglasses, lip gloss, earphones. When I went to pay, the cashier was clearly trying to confuse me with how much change he owes me and basically robbed me of my money. Well, I just kept affirming because I know what he was doing, and in his attempt to confuse me and ultimately steal my money, he ended up confusing himself. I paid 100. He owed me 30 change, but ended up giving me $150 in change. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, because I think he still thought we won. That is crazy. You are so freaking powerful. And I just want to say, like, when I have so many successes, I actually have never in my life posted on a Facebook group. My point is, if I'm like that and most people like that, imagine just how many unheard success stories have happened, all thanks to law of assumption. These are just the people that were inspired enough, that were bothered enough, that were excited enough to post this and share it. And they didn't have to, but they did. And thank you everyone who did. And I'm still gonna be reading more, but you don't understand the impact of these success story videos. They actually change lives. And thank you very much for sharing and taking the time out of your day to do so, because you are making a big, amazing impact on the world, on the planet. Your purpose is fulfilled because other people are out there right now stressed as fuck because they don't know whether they're going to get their manifestation, and you give them hope. Anonymous has a mini success story and they say, I wrote down on my list that I'm going to get a new fridge and freezer. I got it yesterday and it looked brand new, big size, and I didn't pay for it. That's amazing. I think that's a big manifestation, because that's a whole ass fridge and freezer and you got it for free. Those things can get pricey. Sarah says, hi, just signed up here and was listening to Rita's latest success stories all day. Oh, that is such a vibe. That sounds like such a good day. Then I was doing thought transmission, not expecting anything, just thinking of someone and checking in, and 3 minutes later I got a reply. I replied to my thoughts. There was no contact before for several weeks. That's crazy, Sarah. That's crazy. Tiffy says, growing up I learned, or as many of you all know, that when you turn 18 and you stop growing. I'm 27 and worked on affirmations and changing my mindset, and circumstances don't matter. Focus on the 4D, it's not final. I was 5'2" or 157 centimeters. But when I went to the doctors, they said I was actually 152 centimeters. Or 5 feet. I was honestly sad and I felt what I needed to feel, but didn't give it any meaning and let it go. Then today at the doctor's, I found out that I'm actually a little over 5'2", or between 158 and 159. It may be small, but it's still a win. You have to start somewhere and be grateful for them. Don't give up. Your desires are on the way here to you. Just a little bit of a height success story for you there. Being 27, 35, doesn't matter. You can manifest height, appearance change, complete bone reconstruction without any surgery. It's done. This might sound a little goofy and it's a really small success story. I don't know if it counts as one, but basically I was playing Roblox, and in this game I was trying to spawn something called a gummy sprout, and it was taking forever to spawn. And then I just started affirming a gummy sprout has appeared over and over, and literally in a couple of minutes it spawned in. I felt neutral and was like meh about it, because it's literally Roblox. I detached from the outcome. Like, even as I was affirming and regular sprouts were popping up, I didn't care. I wasn't even that surprised when the thing I actually wanted appeared. This made me realize that I'm manifesting SPs. I'm doing way too much and giving 3D too much power. This is why I always say manifest tiny little things, because it gives you so much clarity into when you're manifesting the big things, and it actually helps quite a lot. So if you're the type of person who is watching this video because you're feeling doubtful about law of assumption and if it's real, my biggest advice always and forever is test it out for yourself. Manifest something small and see, because I'm telling you, whether it's a Roblox sprout or your SP, it's all energy. It's really not it's only big because you made it big in your head. I always bring back the example of, you don't think $10 is big now, but you thought it was a big thing when you were a kid. Everything is relative. If you start making $20,000 a month, that's gonna be a standard for you. Making $5K a month will now be nothing, but to someone else, it's a big, huge ass thing. It's all relative. It's never fixed. If If you can manifest the small things, you can manifest the big things. Emma, my mod, hi Emma, says, my SP confirmed that he has hated me in the past, and around when I was affirming, he ended up in hospital with a near-death experience, which made him realize he needs to make amends with me before randomly popping into my work. I don't know what the second time, why he felt to reach out, but I know he will tell me. I didn't manifest him any harm, by the way, just that he wanted to see me. Damn, that's crazy. I have nothing to say about that except for that's crazy. If you just heard that and you're like, I don't want harm to my SP, of course, like, you can manifest everything is happening best case scenario for the good of all. That's one of my favorite affirmations for that there. Anonymous member says, I affirmed on Monday to Friday that my baby daddy was gonna text my mom. I didn't what the text was gonna be about, and I also didn't say when, and he fucking texted today. That's so good. Lucida says, my cousin's cat went missing for over a month. Everyone assumed the worst. I declared she was home now, and when I pet sit for them, acted as if she was there. Yesterday she came home. These are all from my live comments in just one day. I finished my live like an hour or two ago, and these are people telling me their success stories, and oh my god, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss a live from me, because they're so fire, and go on the live tab and listen in, because we're an amazing bunch of people who manifest really fast, and there are so many golden nuggets of information in each one of those lives. DR says, success stories, my sister's newborn had a defect in food pipe. Doctor told he won't survive, but I assumed he's fine. He's coming home tomorrow completely fine just by ignoring the 3D and being in the state. And that's on the power of you. You are insanely, incredibly powerful. Nia says, Rita, happy to announce I scored highest in my exams trying the lullaby method when you suggested it in the live. Got a 90 out of 100 in my final grades in my accounting course. Congratulations, Nia. The lullaby method is insane. If you want to know more information about it, watch it here. And then she says, girl, you made me manifest my SP and get high grades in 2 weeks. I love you. I got this email just as I sat down to film. This is a success story from Melody. Let's read it together. It was October 2023, and before this moment, my parents were like strictly against me going to concerts abroad. Even in my own country, I'd only been to a music festival where one of my favorite artists came to perform. So I was into collecting K-pop merch and photo cards, and I became a stan fan of this one particular K-pop group. I gained a friend through that, and she told me she'd convince my dad to let me go to this concert abroad with her. My dad was unconvinced even after talking to her on the phone, but my mum said if I got VIP tickets with a good view, I could go. The dad would take me to Bangkok, Thailand, and during the concert time, he'd stay in the hotel room or whatever, and I go to the concert on my own with my friends, but only if I got VIP tickets for at least day one, if not day two as well. My friend then told me I can manifest it. Before that, I didn't really know what manifesting was or if it was something even real, but my friends told me it won't hurt to try, and it is guaranteed to work if I do it the right way, and that she would be with throughout it all, since it would be my very first proper concert in conscious manifestation. She told me I should script, and this was her structure logic that I followed to the T. Write a letter to God, thanking God like I have already gotten my manifestation, and seen my favorite K-pop group live and all the members from VIP up close and clearly. Now that the letter has been written, it means the universe knows my desire. Since the universe knows it, God knows it, it is done. Since I have already thanked God for it being done. I know that everyone is you pushed out, so the universe, God is within me, but her structure logic really worked for me because I followed it strictly, and she kept accountable in texts and calls, checking my progress throughout. Now the most important step, if I got contradictory thoughts, I went, no, it's already done. Remember, I have already seen them live from VIP section. I have already been to Bangkok for the concert. My parents already said yes, and now I'm even back to my own country after the concert. Like, I'd immediately correct my thoughts, and every time I slipped out of the state of it already being done by going, it will happen, right? This works, right? What if my parents say no? What if I don't get the VIP tickets? My friend would hold me accountable and correct me immediately. And in the 14 days to 1 month, I was manifesting from the time group announced the Bangkok show to the day of the actual ticket booking. I persisted, flipping my thoughts, reading the script, letter day and night. Then it was the day of the ticket booking. About a month after I wrote the script letter, or lesser, my friend didn't lend us any tickets the day before for fandom membership only, and I was at work. The day I saw down to book us tickets was for general audience, and so the competition was even more intense. My friend and I were on call and speaker, and we kept trying, and the tickets just won't go to the checkout page. My friend gave up and hung up as the system said no more VIP tickets available. I then said if I get these tickets, I'd give an offering to God as thanks when I'd visit a holy place or something like that. My friend just snorted and hung up, but I persisted because no way in hell was my manifestation failing. God would not let go of my hand like that. And then suddenly the page just worked, and I got me and my friend VIP L standing tickets. I called her, had her send me the money, and checked out and paid, and she was like, bro, no way, we got it. You just said 2 minutes ago you'd give offering to God as thanks, and you have persisted till the end and it worked, yay. Then I told my parents about it and they weren't happy, but mom reluctantly told dad that he can take me to Bangkok without her because she has to remain home to take care of my 90-year-old grandma. Since this is my biggest conscious manifestation, I hope this mail reaches you in time for the success story video. And then she attached the proof of the ticket, and she also sent a video. This is the video of her being at the concert. That's all I have for today. However, there are a lot of money success stories on my website if you want to go check that out. Go on ritakaminski.com, click the courses tab, and click finally financially free. The course is currently closed for enrollment. However, if you scroll down and look at what the humans are saying, I highly recommend for you to take a little gander at that, because those success stories are crazy as well. I trust that this gave you so much motivation, inspiration, and power. And remember that power is always within you. You just need to unlock it and remember what it is that you want and continue manifesting it until it happens. Don't give up, keep persisting, and know that it will happen if you make it happen. And with that, I trust that this video gave you the guidance that you needed. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up because I know that you loved it. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye everyone.